All the bad habits, all the bad things, I just put it all on the table. It was freeing.
Today on Sunday Sessions, I'm joined by Dominique Elissa, model, wellness creator, and host of the podcast Selfdom.
In a moment of desperation, I wrote my thoughts down, and my life didn't change the moment I started journaling and practicing gratitude, but the compound effect was life-changing.
Your community has grown and grown. It's one of the biggest I've ever seen.
It is my religion. It keeps me in check.
What I love about Dom is that her approach to wellness isn't extreme or overwhelming. It's about the small shifts.
We don't need to live in this fight or flight. We can live in rest and digest. It's so simple. Anybody can do it at any age.
If you're looking for inspiration to step into a more aligned, balanced, and healthy version of yourself, this conversation is for you.
Once you start finding that space in your day, you get hooked to it.
Let's get into it. Dominique Elissa, welcome to Sunday Sessions.
Thank you for having me.
So nice to have you. I can tell you that the girls in my office, they are obsessed with you.
Oh.
And a lot of people that I speak to are. They follow you. They're inspired by you. I know you're just at home making your content, but when you hear that, when you hear so many people are following you and inspired by you, how does that make you feel?
It makes it all worth it. I think I've been on such a journey to get where I am with so many highs and lows, but I truly feel the most authentic I ever have. And then to hear such a beautiful response from the community, I mean, that's what it's all about. So yeah, it just lights my soul up and it's my North Star to keep going.
And it's interesting that you say you've been through highs and lows because I guess Instagram is all about the highs and the real and the moments that you showcase all look so glamorous and so fun. But I guess people would love to really hear about your journey and to be able to relate to the other part of your life. And I know you do share a lot of that, but take us back to the start of your career, really, which was modeling.
Yeah.
What was that like in that industry?
Yeah, I mean, I've come so far with the modeling stuff. It's definitely where my career started. I was 15 when I was scouted, so I was super young. But from 12 years old, I knew I wanted to model. Like I always wanted to. People always said you should model. And from 15, I would leave school. I would work on the morning shows and they would do my hair and makeup on the show, and they'd have like little runway shows. And I just thought it was so much fun. And I've loved meeting new people my whole life. I love talking to people. So that was the one thing I loved with modeling is every time you're on set, you meet new people. There's an opportunity for new connection. And that was really, really special. But yeah, it definitely led me down a bad path of disordered eating, insomnia, anxiety, and a lot of bad behavior, not feeling good enough, which is where it stemmed from. And during that time, I didn't share any of the dark moments. I only shared the highlight reel. But with age comes wisdom, and I started sharing more of my true self in the last few years. And I've definitely shifted from just being seen as a model to, business owner and leading community events and things like that. So one of the things I always tell people who want to start social media is be authentic from the start. That's the most important thing because that's how your audience resonates with you. And I can tell you that everything skyrocketed the moment I fell into being authentic. Like everything fell into place. Like all your manifestations, everything I could have ever dreamed of just happened because I was being me, not trying to be anybody else.
So you're sharing the highlight reel and you're posting photos and videos on Instagram and you're getting lots of likes and followers. Take us to that moment where you decided today's the day. I'm going to post something real. And what was it?
Yeah, well,
and real, R-E-A-L.
Yeah.
Something real about yourself.
I mean, there's so many key moments, but I think I've shared quite a bit on my disordered eating patterns throughout my life on social media. And I remember sharing about the journey because it's a forever journey, but I was on the other end of it. I just wanted to kind of acknowledge what I'd been through. And then that became something really important for me to share on my channel because the reason I fell into disordered eating was comparison, seeing super skinny people online and not having good role models in my life. So I flipped and I kind of wanted to share that I was actually struggling and I was going to be that person who's going to be a big role model. So I would share like old photos of myself where I looked really skinny and acknowledge that I wasn't well. I think also acknowledging that I suffered with insomnia was a massive thing. The podcast was a huge way for me to share more organically and authentically too, because as we were speaking about off mic, long format is an opportunity for your audience to get to know you. How much can you really share in a 30-second reel? Not much. So when I started the podcast 3 years ago in my bedroom just with a camera, I really just went deep on everything. I was telling them, the audience, how I suffered with anxiety, I suffered with insomnia, how I used to drink red wine to fall asleep, all the bad habits, all the bad things. I just put it all on the table and it was freeing. So I think, there was definitely moments where I would share Instagram stories of struggle, but it was really the podcast that allowed me to live into my most authentic self.
What was the response?
Oh, it was amazing. I think that's the funniest part about it, or the most ironic part about it, because you're so scared of judgment. So you live in fear, hiding who you are and hiding your past. But then when you share those struggles, the community bounds together. And that was a really eye-opening thing for me. And now I really try my best to be raw and honest. But that also comes with, of course, you're still going to post your highlight reels. You're still going to post the joyful moments. But I think there needs to be a balance, because we've all had dark days where you go on Instagram and you're comparing yourself and you're just like, how can they be so happy when I'm dealing with this? Like the head noise. But that's life. That's something I keep talking about with my friends, is you can't plan anything. Like, if you plan something, it's going to go the complete opposite way. So don't even bother.
So true. So you were going through all these things. Was sharing at the start of your journey to, I guess, fixing it or getting better, not having to drink red wine, not having the anxiety, not having the eating disorder? How did you start on that journey?
Gratitude was the catalyst for me transforming my life 150%. When I introduced gratitude into my life 9 years ago now, I was in London for work modeling, and I was really struggling, really, really low. And my best friend said, why don't you start journaling, writing down your thoughts? And I thought, that is so woo-woo. That is not going to do anything. Like, I thought I needed to be medicated, and always want to say there's nothing wrong with medication. It is extremely powerful and an effective tool. But in a moment of desperation, I wrote my thoughts down, and my life didn't change the moment I started journaling and practicing gratitude. But the compound effect was life-changing. It was practicing every day. I haven't missed a morning or night gratitude session in 9 years, like since I started. It is my religion. It keeps me in check. Every morning I check in with myself. What am I grateful for today? So instead of, even if I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do today, like so many people deal with that. If I wake up and do my gratitude, I'm grateful that I'm here. 150,000 people die every day. I'm here on this earth. I have an opportunity. I'm looking at my dog. Oh my God, I have love in my life, my husband. There's so many things to be grateful for. And that was the complete shift when it comes to dealing and managing all of those things I was struggling with. And I'm actually hosting a retreat tomorrow all about manifestation. And I was thinking about, how do you actually manifest? I wanted to share like a 5-step. And the first step is gratitude. It is being in this high vibration. So you attract high vibration back, and everything else will fall into place. But I always tell people, it's every day you have to do it. There's no quick fix. There is no quick fix if you want to do it the natural way. And it's just been so incredibly powerful.
That is incredible that gratitude and journaling actually helped fix health problems that you had and habits that you had as well. What do you think is that science behind that?
Well, there's so much science to back it. So when you practice gratitude, you release dopamine and serotonin into your body, and these are the feel-good hormones. So if you start your day like that, again, I keep using the word compound, but it's so true for gratitude, because it changes the whole trajectory of your day. We also, as humans, have negativity bias. So we have 9 negative thoughts for every positive thought we have. So you have to rewire your brain. Humanity has been around, they aren't sure if it's 150,000 or 300,000 years, right? So humanity's been around for this huge amount of time. in the last 20 years, we've gotten social media, we're interacting with lights, TVs. So much has happened in our world that our physical body, mental body hasn't adjusted. So we were only meant to feel stress when we saw a tiger. Now you get an email, you get a notification. Our nervous system is not designed for this. So having a gratitude practice, which is off your phone, because so many people say, why don't you make an app, Dom? I'm so serious about getting people off their phone to write down their thoughts, to sit down, to calm their nervous system down, and to rewire your brain. As I said, you have 9 negative thoughts for every positive thought, because our bodies are designed, if danger is there, to protect. We are safe now. We don't need to live in this fight or flight. We can live in rest and digest. And journaling is literally the most incredible tool because it takes a few minutes and it calms your nervous system down. You will notice your breath will naturally slow down because you practice it. So there's just so much science behind it. I wish that it was taught at schools so that kids were brought up with this incredible practice in a world that is so digitalized, in a world where people are interacting with things they shouldn't be seeing at certain ages just because it's online.
So practical terms tell us. I think everyone listening to this is going to immediately get out their self-dom journal.
Yeah, get their self-dom journal.
And it's on her website. And immediately start this practice. My gosh, you have sold it to me. But what practically, Dom, do we do? How do we do it?
So I always say that our mind is like any other muscle. And for some reason, people really understand that if you wanted to get stronger, you would go to the gym every day. But people don't understand that if you want to be a more positive, calm person, you have to do the mental exercises every day. So I created a journal that has prompts set out for you every morning and every night. And there's a beautiful quote on the top of each page. The prompts are the same every morning and every night because it's that repetition. So as I said, if you want to grow your glutes, you go to the gym and you squat. The same goes with the mind. You follow those prompts the same every day. The first prompt that you'll do in the morning is today I am grateful for. Then your second prompt is today I will focus on, which is so nice because it allows people to let go of a long to-do list and just be like, okay, what are the 3 things I'm going to focus on? I think people have an unrealistic expectation of what they can do in one day. And as I said, you're going to be living in stress. Then you're probably going to check your phone to escape the stress. Then you're not even going to do your to-do list. So let's just write 3 things down. The third prompt is what would make today great, because I think people are losing sight of joy. What's something small you can do that will give you a little bit of joy? And then the last one is my morning affirmation. And I like to tell people to work on the same affirmation for a week so they can really believe it, really allow it to come into existence. We have heaps of examples in the journal of affirmations because I know some people aren't sure where to start. And then at night, this prompt, the first prompt, is the most transformative, I believe, which is I will let go of. Because as I said, I was an insomniac. The prompt I will let go of changed everything for me because I would put my head on the pillow and be unable to sleep thinking about my day, what happened. I sent this email, let it go. You cannot fix it in this moment. You're only putting yourself at a disservice right now. So I will let go of has been such a powerful prompt for me. Often it's self-doubt. Often it's comparison. Often it will just be letting go of something silly that was said. We really overthink everything. So it's really important to do that prompt every night. Then you do your evening gratitude, which allows you to reflect on the day. And as I said, we have the negativity bias. So you're going to think about the bad things usually at the end of the day. But no, we're going to rewire and be like, oh no, actually, this happened. I had a coffee with a friend that was super nice and it was an extra good coffee. Write it down. The third one is today I'm proud of myself for. How often do we sit and say, you know what, I'm actually really proud of myself for something. It's not an egotistic thing to do. It's really important because that's, again, letting yourself know, I can do it. And that's why I said it's amazing for manifesting, because you're seeing the things that you did that worked well, and then that is going to allow you to do it the next day and the next day. And then you end with an affirmation. And because I struggle with sleep, often my affirmation is, I am calm, I have a regulated nervous system, I'm ready for bed, I am loved. And yeah, that's how it is. It's so simple. Anybody can do it at any age. And it is just so transformative.
Amazing. I'm blown away and it's free.
Yeah, literally.
Literally get a piece of paper and write.
Literally.
And when you were doing this work, did this make you love yourself more so that you wanted to nourish your body more because you fixed all the eating issues? But not only that, you went the other way and became this wellness, healthy person that we all now follow and try to emulate.
Yeah.
Did that help you get
100%. The way you appreciate your body and its biomechanics is incredible. Instead of, living in a state of lack and judgment, I started living as a human being. I was just, and I always say I'm beaming. I'm beaming energy. I just want to nourish my body so that I can be a mum one day. I can run after the kids. Like, I want to live a long, healthy life. I'm really fed up with the industry right now, to be honest. I've been a model for 15 years and I feel we've gone so backwards. And I can't even imagine for young girls right now what it is like to be online. It is so disheartening. The hard work that so many of us pioneers have been doing for years feels like it's all crumbling down in front of us. And it breaks my heart because I struggled with it for such a long time. So that's why I want to get my journal in the hands of as many people as I can, because I know how much it can change your state of mind so that you can better handle when you see an Instagram post of someone eating 1,000 calories or doing these crash diets. You're able to kind of have that awareness. The way I think of mindfulness tools is you have an awareness. So when a negative thought pops up, which it will every day, you have negative thoughts, you have a space, and in that space you have awareness to either acknowledge it as, this isn't true, I don't want to believe this, instead of just absorbing. And I think that's the power of all mindfulness, taking one breath before you respond to a message. That space. Once you start finding that space in your day, you get hooked to it. Because you're like, this is how I should be living. This is how you make better, rational decisions instead of always living in that fight or flight state.
It feels almost silly for me to ask you this because I can see now from your journey that you've gone through the self-love journey and then that's how it's made your health and wellness decisions. But I did want to ask you, when it comes to health and wellness, we all look up to you and you have such an incredible routine. What is that routine? What are your tips there?
Yeah, so the morning is everything. I am massive on my morning and night routine. When I met my husband 3 years ago, he was like, oh my God, because I didn't hide it. Like, I sleep, like, I'll get to the night routine after, but I didn't hide it who I was ever. In the morning, my husband's a breathwork coach, so that really helps. We wake up, we both meditate and journal on the couch. I have to say, having a partner who journals as well is so special because we always will be writing it like, oh, I'm actually so grateful for you today. And then, acknowledge, I'm so grateful that you took crumble out this morning. So often you don't acknowledge these things, and the gratitude journal I've found is so good. We just don't let those things slip. So we do our journaling. Then my husband is fasting until about 11 and I will have breakfast. I try my best to have a savory breakfast because it's much better for your blood sugar. But sometimes I want a smoothie or a yogurt bowl. But I love making a frittata. That's a really good meal prep. Or I can do a protein smoothie, as long as it's high protein. And then I'll take Crumble for a big walk. I live in Bondi, so we'll do the coastal walk. And then if I have time, I love going to Pilates as a luxury. But if I don't have time, then I start my day. And it's honestly simple. And if I don't have time, if I've got a shoot or something that starts at 7 a.m., I'll always bring my alarm earlier so that I get those steps in: the journaling, the food, and a walk. even 10-minute walk. People think I need to work out for an hour, but please take my advice to anyone listening. A 10-minute walk is incredible. Even if you have 10 minutes between a meeting to just go for a walk, it recenters you. It's really phenomenal. And then when it comes to diet, I eat a whole food diet. I keep it simple. If it's in a packet, don't usually eat it. Outskirts of the supermarket. I would much rather be eating fresh whole foods. I don't count calories. I just eat as many fruit and veg as I can. I recently found out that only 6.5% of Australians are eating enough fruit and vegetables, which is 5 veggies, 2 fruits. I remember that from school. 5 veggies, 2 fruits. Only 6.5% of Aussies are getting that. It's absolutely wild. So up your veggies. We need more fiber in this country. And then at night, I have chamomile tea every night. Really good for your digestion. My gratitude journal. The lights are dim. I'm really strict on light because as soon as you put the light on, your melatonin production slows down. So when the sun sets, your body goes, okay, it's time for rest, and starts producing melatonin. But because people are watching TV, they're on their phone, melatonin production it doesn't happen. So that's why people are struggling to sleep. So really focus on dimming the lights. We don't have a TV in our house. Tom and I play cards every night. We're like an old couple. And then I wear blue light blockers. I sleep with an wraparound eye mask so that it covers my ears. I put lavender oil on my wrists. And honestly, I'm asleep within 3 minutes. And I was an insomniac. And I have a 90+ sleep score every night. I can tell you now, if I can do it, anybody could do it.
Is that the number one tip that you've got for health and wellness? Sleep.
Everything stems from sleep. Everything stems from sleep. If you're struggling with feeling hungry all the time, are you sleeping enough? Hunger cues are out of whack as soon as you do not get enough sleep. Your skin, how much better does everyone look after a good night's rest? You can't even compare. And look, 80-20 rule, it's something I really preach on my socials because it's not normal to go to bed at 9 o'clock every day, wake up at 5:30. Routines are meant to be broken 20% of the time because life is worth living. But if you can focus on those 5 days a week, really sticking to the same sleep schedule, your body will love it. Your body loves routine.
I want to talk about your community. Everything that you say, and I can feel the love that you have with wanting to not only improve your own health and wellness, but to help others do the same. And I can feel it when you're speaking right now, but so can the whole of Australia. And your community has grown and grown. It's one of the biggest I've ever seen. And you're starting these walks every single week. Tell me more about that. How did you get these people to start coming in, and what is it for?
Yeah, so last year, nearly a year ago, my mum passed away. It was really, really, when they say time heals, I don't really know. It still feels very raw. But before mum passed away, I would do community walks just because I wanted to go for walks with people. Like I just put on my stories, does anyone want to go for a walk tomorrow? It wasn't like every Thursday we do a walk, right? And the first walk, 4 people came, including my mum. And then, as I said, the authenticity piece, a few weeks after mum passed away, I was really struggling. I felt like people didn't understand. You can't relate to me. I just felt really isolated. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to do a walk. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to bring it back. And I had shared what was going on with my mum. And that first walk club back after mum passed away, 40 people came. And I was blown away. People had done drawings of mum and I. People had made us like cakes to bring to the home. I was blown away by the kindness of the community, where it kind of took away the separation of followers, and I'm influencer, to actually we're all the same. We're all just humans trying to do life for the first time on this earth. And I was like, wow. None of us are different. We're all the same. And after that walk, I was like, okay, this isn't only beneficial to me, it's beneficial to the community. They're meeting like-minded people. So I said, you know what? I'm going to stick to it every single week. consistency is key. And week on week, it just got bigger, more people coming. And my favorite thing is the walk club success stories where I see girls who met at walk club out in the wild. I'm like, oh my God. And it's just so special. We have a WhatsApp. It doesn't feel like they're my community. I'm in the community. So yeah, we had 300 girls rock up last week. It was absolutely insane. And now we're going to fly around the country hosting walks. So it's really powerful. I never expected it to grow like this. I just did it because I was really wanting connection in a time where I felt really lonely. And yeah, that's why I've kept doing it, and I just love it. I look forward to it every single week. It's magical, especially when now I have like my OGs, the girls who have been there since day dot. And then every week we have new faces. Yeah, it's really special.
You speak a lot about your beautiful mum.
Mm.
I know she taught you so many things. What was the one thing that you just have taken away from everything that she's taught you, if there can be one?
I mean, it's so hard. Like, she is just a wealth of knowledge, but she knew how to live life. She had fun and she was present. And I think that's the biggest takeaway, especially in a world where people are so consumed by their phones and by everything going on. Like, Mum had a way of making anyone feel like the only person in the room. She would like just have this energy and vitality, and I think it's something that I really want to encapsulate and bring into my life. And yeah, she's just one magical woman. She's literally around though. She is talking to me all the time. She pops up at the randomest moments. She's a rainbow whenever I see rainbows, and because we live on the water, it's like Rainbow City out there, especially on a day. I think maybe that's why I like rainy days, because I'm like, there might be a rainbow.
Have you read the book Signs?
No, I need to read it.
Okay.
Well, I love it.
It's so incredible, and it's all about this.
Okay.
And the signs and how to read them, and it's a beautiful book.
I love that.
It.
A perfect day for a read after this.
You've given us a wealth of information. My gosh, I feel like I've learnt so much. I need to go home straight away and write everything down really quickly. But you've been through such a transformation. What is the most important thing to you, aside from sleep, that you are focused on right now?
Yeah, so I'm on my fertility journey, which is so exciting. And when it comes to fertility, your view on health really changes, especially when you've struggled with disordered eating in the past. Like, the way I view my body is just so different. I'm like preparing it to be able to house a baby and to grow a child and to grow life. So rest is number one. Obviously, we've spoken about that, but rest is so much more than sleep. For any of your listeners who are busy mamas and stuff, you can find rest in a yoga nidra. You almost need to be efficient with your rest. So sometimes you feel like taking a nap. I'd recommend doing a meditation or a yoga nidra. That is equivalent to 3 to 5 hours of sleep because your body goes into such a relaxed state. So finding moments throughout the day to do 10 minutes of breath, 10 minutes of meditation, just to calm my nervous system down. I'm on a really strict supplement routine. So I've been learning a lot about nutrition, and the food we eat these days just isn't as nutritious as it once was, unless you're eating organic biodynamic food, which is really difficult. The food, if you eat biodynamic organic, is 80% more nutritious than non. So I'm really trying to eat organic when I can, but in order to make up for when I can't, I am supplementing. Omega-3s, I really recommend. Magnesium, really recommend. Zinc, iron. Iron is a huge one as well. I used to be iron deficient, and I recently discovered that when you turn 14 or whenever you get your first bleed, you need to double your iron intake for the rest of your bleeding years. But often at that age, you are going to start struggling with disordered eating, might try a vegan diet, a vegetarian diet, and there's no hate to those diets, just want to let everybody know. But if you take on those diets, you need to be very aware of how much you're eating to get enough. So I struggled with iron deficiency and anemia for such a long time. So now I'm really prioritizing red meat, slow cooking lamb, slow cooking in general. These things that just weren't important to me. I was a bit more of like efficient health, like how can I get nutrients quickly? Whilst now I'm prepping my body for a baby, I'm like slow cooking, a little bit more nesting. So yeah, it's been a really nice journey. It's like coming back to home and self. And I think health has seasons. You have seasons. I mean, the world has seasons for a reason. So you can't stick to the same routine every single day, 365 days for the rest of your life. So you have to go with the flow and understand what season you're in. And that's where the journaling helps, because you can kind of start understanding where you're at yourself and leading from there. So that's what I'm really focusing on. Really good nutrition, really good rest, and weight training. I love weight training. I have a PT, Giannis, and he's incredible. I recommend a PT if you can, at least for a few sessions before you go to a gym, to prevent injury, to learn how to lift weights. As women, we need to be lifting weights. It's not going to make you bulky. It's going to show you resilience and strength.
And how often are you doing that?
3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good. And like when you have a trainer, it's great because you can cater it to what your energy is at that time, because as women, we have cycles. We feel different all the time. And I do think sometimes if you go to a class where there's no adjustments for how you're feeling, if you're in your luteal phase, you're probably not in the mood to get slammed at the gym. But if you're ovulating, maybe you have more energy. So I think women need to come back to their cycle and learn what works for them at the different parts. Once you start living in tune with your cycle, it's really incredible. You can book, the podcast when you're ovulating. You can book the bookkeeping when you're in your luteal phase, and you'll get better results.
How do we track all this?
Girl, I'm
I've never heard
I'm
of
launching a
these.
journal, so it's coming out soon. And it will allow women to document. So day 1 of your cycles, the day you start your bleed. And you start documenting day 1. How am I feeling? What exercise would serve me? What am I craving? Start learning the trends in your body. After 3 months, you're going to notice, okay, I'm like this during this part of my cycle. I'm like this. So then it doesn't become before your cycle, you're like, everyone hates me. You can look back and be like, oh, I'm always like this before my period. Everything's okay. So yeah, I think it's so important. We did not get learnt this at school.
No, we did
Nothing.
not.
We had
all of us are guilty of this.
like no one taught us anything except wear a condom and that. But at the end of the day, a woman's hormones are so intricate. People ovulate at different times. It's definitely not the same for everybody. And I think there needs to be so much more education around it. Because as I said, people iron needs a double when they're, bleeding, and no one's teaching anyone this. People are restricting. Not everyone's going against their body's signals. Your body's telling you, I actually need rest today. No, I need to go to the gym. I booked the class in. I need to exhaust myself. Like I'm trying to teach women this. And it was funny because my trainer, even today, I was saying how one of the girls was looking amazing that he was training. And he was like, she's upped her calories and she's doing breath work. She's has a regulated nervous system. The weight is just dropping off. When you reduce your cortisol, your body's not going to live in fight or flight. It's not going to start storing fat. It's calm. So you just got to live in that calm state. Honestly, it's life-changing. I think people are getting it all wrong. It's one of the things I'm like preaching so much on my channel.
Thank you for being such, honestly, an inspiration and for saying it how it is, but also dealing with this issue, which is we're all living in this world where we're trying to do all these different things, but we're getting it wrong.
Yeah.
And it's so simple. Journaling, being grateful, eating more, I heard you just say. I'm going to write that one down. Yeah. And getting better sleep, eating real food, eating more fruit and veggies, understanding our cycles. So much that we've unpacked today, Dom. Thank you so much. I have one final question, and now I've forgotten it. I have one final question. What is next for you? Well, aside from your fertility.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the fertility thing is super exciting. And what's next for me is, we're launching the hormone journal, which is so exciting. We've worked alongside a naturopath, which is just super special. I'm so passionate. My dream is to get my journal into 1 million women's hands to transform their life, because it will transform it forever. And yeah, I'm just going to keep going with what I'm doing and living in flow state and see what happens.
Tell us where to get your journal.
Yeah, so head to selfdom.au and you can get a journal there, and I'll make a discount code for you guys. What should I call it?
Naked 10.
Naked 10 for 10% off. Amazing.
Thank you so much. So wonderful to have you today. I feel so inspired. I can tell everyone in this room, including the guys, are extremely inspired by you. You are incredible. Thank you so much, Dom.
Thank you so much. I've loved coming on your podcast, and you're so inspiring with everything you're doing, and I'm really passionate about sun protection. I had a precancerous mole removed, and when I see the UV11 trend and people doing all that, I'm like, so thank you for doing what you do, because we need more people like you.
Thanks, Dom.
Of course. Thank you.